Hello and welcome to the Titan Esports 2025 Gladiator League Week 3. My name is Mojo Powell. I am joined today, as last week, by my buddy Fel. Fel, how you doing?
Oh, doing all right tonight. I'm excited. Hopefully this series brings us what the last one did, just a lot of action all across the board. Well, yeah, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. I'm excited for this one. We've got two 0-2 teams from Group A, but looking to grab their first win here. We have Novasphere Gaming Sunrise versus Malevolent Rising. Now, if you tuned into the stream last week, this is a different Malevolent team than we had last week. That one 1-1. This one, unfortunately, starting 0-2.
Yeah, they. I think just from reading what happened last week, I think they went 1-2 in the series, and things were looking kind of okay, but then they just kind of lost it. So both of these teams going 0-2, the mental on that usually kind of sucks, and the biggest thing you want to do is just make sure that your plan going in, your draft, your communication, everything stays top notch. And hopefully both of these teams have, watched their VODs, did some coaching and some self-reflection and come into this series ready to go. 1-2 looks a lot better than 0-3, especially in a bracket this size with 14 teams. It's going to be a big playoff picture. You just want to be able to squeak in there. And then once you make it, it's anybody's game.
Yeah, the fact that both these teams are 0-2, and what you said, right? The difference between 1-2 and 0-3 is kind of hard to understate. This is a really, really big week for both teams. You really want to come out and show, like, look, hey, we may have slumped a bit in the beginning. We're here to play, right? We're not a bottom of the barrel team. And either team, like, truly has the ability to prove that to us. I have heard that the top lane matchup is one to be looking at. Hemo Mage and Termac playing well in both of their first matches. And both these teams did pick up game wins, right? So they have plans they've executed that have gone well, right? So maybe they can find ways to stick to those and eke out the win. I think that hopefully, as it tends to be true in Gladiator, it will at least be bloody.
Oh yeah, so it's always something to look forward to. I think another thing too is just be wary of the other team's one tricks, even though they're plat capped. A one trick in plat, like Hemoglobin on the top lane for Novasphere. Vlad is a hard champion to deal with if you're not used to it. And it's not a top lane matchup you go into just thinking that you're going to see all the time. So a lot of the times you can get tricked into thinking, oh, we don't really have to deal with that. We can give that to them. There's other meta things. One of my favorite things about IBSG styles or plat and unders are the fact that meta, for the most part, in like higher elos and stuff, doesn't matter here. You're not going to be able to play some of these champions that require the high amount of mechanics the way that other players do. You can't just pick up a champion and be like, yep, I can play this just as well as I can play my Ashe or my Senna or whatever. You can't just jump in and play Samira. So if the meta is what it is up there, down here, you just being on a comfort champion, it speaks volumes as far as how well you're going to play. So hopefully both of these teams have at least 3 or 4 champions that they're willing to play that would fit into their team style and their team comp, but at the same time also give them a level of comfort that they're willing to use to hopefully catapult them towards a solid plan and victory.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the depth of your comfort picks is cannot be overstated, especially in Fearless. I know we're only playing best of 3s at this point in the regular season, but it's still Fearless. You get to game 3, if you've got 2 picks banned out, 2 picks you've already played, right? Maybe the other team played one of your picks as well. You are so deep in the hole of champions that you probably just aren't incredibly comfortable on, right? Especially in this elo, like most players in solo queue play like 2 to 3 champions really, really proficiently. And I know that's the kind of thing you're working up in scrims, right? You're working up new picks. You're trying to practice meta things, especially for these junglers, both of whom I believe have highest mastery on AD carry picks, right? So working up, the Jarvan, the Wukong in the scrims, trying to get those meta picks out of the way. But like truly, if we get to game 3, I think you will see the comfort on the champs sort of fall off a cliff. And then it's like, how well can we work together as a team, right? How can we integrate these champs into our team comps?
Right. Yeah, and I think at that point you start seeing the high amount of CC, the easy point and click kind of stuff. I'm a huge fan of that for lower elos. It's a lot easier to pull off when you have like an Amumu, a Seraphine, a Nautilus, and you know what I mean, and a
Yep.
Lux. Like so, they're in a corridor. You hit the Nautilus ult, and everybody just follows through, and there's just all this damage and follow up and everything else. So I'm looking for that. I'm looking for both of these teams to come out at least with a solid game plan. And we'll see it from game 1, which team has it and which team doesn't. So in these brackets, it's usually somebody will eventually throw the match or just be a random Braum just standing in the red jungle of the enemy team and just like, why is he there? Like, who knows? But it offers for a lot of at least fun here. So the biggest thing I think for these teams is going to be their morale, their communication. Who knows how close those games were? I didn't actually get to see them and watch them, but if the games were super close and they lose them, 40-minute bangers, and it's like 69K to 70K gold, and it was just a bad Baron play that ended it. Like, it's unfortunate, but those are things that you can really build on. So I'm looking for them to hopefully come in with something like that where they have a game plan, they try to execute it, and they stick to that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like you said, we're going to be preaching it all split long. Point and click CC, large engage tools, go buttons, as we call them, right, are at such a premium in this league. Things like Ornn top, Maokai jungle, Wukong jungle, a Mumu jungle, Leona bot lane, right? These kinds of like hard CC engage champs are the kinds of things that we are looking for as we are now here into the draft of game 1. You've got MVE on the left, NGS on the right. I do believe there are a couple of missed bans, like penalty missed bans in this series. So if you see blank bans, that is accurate. Senna being the first ban on. Oh, sorry. Actually, these teams are on swap sides. So MVE is on the right.
Right. So MVE on the red side, yeah. Novasphere has 2 bans that are missing, so they're not going to be able to ban everything that they want. You're coming into this first game at a severe disadvantage because, like we were talking about with the pocket picks and the comfort champions, you really want to be able to get these guys off. As we see, the Senna and the Melio being banned away from MVE. Melio is really hard to deal with, and then the Nocturne ban going after the jungler. So it looks like MVE wants to sort of just target ban the bot lane of Novasphere. It is a bronze ADC versus a gold, so you really want to give every advantage that you can if you're MVE.
Interestingly, though, in that strategy, right, trying to find a favorable bot matchup, we've left off the Vladimir ban that I think would be expected into someone literally named Hemo Mage Wonderland, right? But Jinx going to be the first pick for NGS.
Yeah, and expect to see a Protect the Jinx comp coming in here. Smolder, I like that as a bounce back, but probably gonna see like a Smolder Braum or a Smolder Enchant or something like that. But yeah, NGS is probably more than likely going to be going for a lot of protection for this Jinx. Is Jarvan coming in? He's somebody that can set up that guaranteed Smolder ult and follow up. So I like that pick. It's a good scrappy jungler. We'll see how Vero can pilot that, as the Lilia is the counter to that. How are you feeling about that matchup?
I feel good. I do think that Lilia, in a perfect world, limits some of our mid or top lane picks, right? And is a fairly high skill cap carry oriented jungler that is maybe going to be a little bit harder to pilot than something like the Jarvan, right? Maybe a little more complicated, although Jarvan has a mechanical difficulty as well. But I like it. I think, look, if Lilia is going to allow you to play some other more interesting picks, and Orianna going to be the mid laner for tomorrow, which I love. Great with Jarvan, great with Smolder. I think MVE is set up for success.
Yeah, they are. And If you can stop the Jarvan from snowballing some of the lanes, I think that late game Lilia, Jinx, Lulu obviously is going to be huge. So we have like ultimate scaling right now versus like a lot of early game want to scrap, want to fight with the Ori Jarvan. The Smolder obviously is going to want to scale on that side, so you do have that in your back pocket. Yeah, early on I liked MVE, but it seems like MGS does have a plan that they want to go with here as the Shen and the Fiora get banned out. And as you were saying, Hemo still has that Vlad open and the Maokai coming over for MVE.
I would be slightly surprised to see the Vlad paired with the Lilia. I do think I would want something maybe with a little more CC or maybe an AD focus with Galio actually coming up for NGS. Could be an either role. I guess it's technically a flex. I'm assuming that's Galio mid into Orianna.
Yeah, that's normally what we would end up seeing. And, MVE does. Oh, and the Volibear up top for Hemo. Okay. That's spicy. That can go. That can really, really snowball, and especially with the Lilia being able to perma slow the MVE side. But he is going to be facing off into a Gnar, which is not the easiest matchup if you're the Volibear.
No, it's not. And Volibear is a champ that wants to dominate in lane if he can, right? And I will say though that Gnar is a fairly high skill cap champion, right? I do think that piloting Gnar, getting the most out of Gnar that you can, is really hard to do. Managing your rage, getting to team fights with the correct amount of Gnar bar, right? And then actually using his tools correctly in lane phase, right? Dominating lane on a ranged pick is a difficult thing to do, and we'll have to see if Termac is up to the challenge. I know that these top laners do not shy away from these kinds of skill matchups, and that is the kind of thing I like to see, especially if bot lane is looking like maybe going to be a bit of a farm fest, right? It's got Smolder into Jinx, not the most explosive of 2v2 lanes. Maybe we'll get some of the fighting up top.
Right, but you do have the three kill timer on the Jinx. Once she gets 3 kills, she kind of takes over the game, almost like a Yasuo with this 10 death spike. So I wouldn't mind seeing Champagne Poppy just sort of like going in between either top and mid or mid and bottom there. I think roaming around with the Galio, making plays along with your mid laner, that's a really, really strong kind of counter to the early game pressure that Jarvan can really put on there. And I think that MVE has a propensity now to overcommit to something that Galio is going to be able to save. We see this time and time again in these leagues where, you find somebody like, oh, it's just the Lilia, she's by herself, and next thing you know, you've bought time for the Galio. Everybody else, as long as Lilia can stay alive in that first thing, 5 seconds later, your team is dead, and you're like, what happened? I thought we caught her. So I do like NGS's draft. Overall, they have a lot of peel for this Jinx with the front line of Galio and Volibear. And then they also have the utility of the Lulu, cannot be understated on a champion like Jinx.
Yeah, absolutely. I do think a lot of the, my issue is a strong word. My worry for NGS, I think, is that a lot of their engage capability lies on the back of this Lilia, right? Mm-hmm. And that's a hard thing to do. Lilia engage is not consistent. It is not as easy as point and click, Jarvan ulti, Maokai ulti, these kinds of things, right? But they have really phenomenal disengage, things like the Lulu ulti, the Galio ulti, even the Lily ulti is disengaged. So I agree, I want to see them play a sort of kite back style, protecting the Jinx as much as they can. But I do have to say that somebody on MVE seems to have client issues and can't load in properly. So we are going to take a bit of a tech pause for the moment. We'll update you guys as soon as we can.
like do 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 do, like do 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 crazy, oh 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 crazy, oh 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 crazy crazy, oh oh crazy, oh 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 crazy, do 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 crazy, do 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 crazy, do 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 crazy, do 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 crazy crazy, do do like do 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 do, like do 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 crazy, oh do do like do 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 do, like do 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 crazy, oh. Welcome to Summoner's
Sorry, I was
Rift.
waiting for a. Yep.
Your Discord is not updating.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Yeah, I can't see the game.
Yeah, the game's on the stream.
Minions have spawned.
Okay. Oh, right, hello and welcome back. We apologize for the technical difficulties, but we should be here. We should be in the game. Just to update you on what has happened, NGS has an E sub in the AD carry position. Mythic Chaos is going to be subbing in, I believe, for the entire series, at least for game 1. They decided to play out the game with the same draft, so we'll be playing the Jinx that he didn't pick, but, you know, should be happy with it in the team comp nonetheless. We're about 2 minutes into the game. Little action here on the bot side, but we are all caught up.
Yeah, and it's a pretty interesting start there. We kind of missed it, but there was a little bit of a cheeky level 1. There was 3 over on the top side here. We do see the Volibear into the Nars going about as well as we thought it would, but oof, actually.
Yeah, hits level 3 there. Bad timing of the... Oh, flash in, though, doesn't quite find the kill. Now if Gnar hits level 3, no. Stormcaller comes down, gonna shield of the Volibear. No kill, but flash for flash in the top lane. Things getting spicy as expected.
Yeah, Gnar's gonna have to be careful of that. If you don't watch your spacing on that champion, especially as you're coming off of the Mega Form, you're gonna end up giving a lead to the Volibear that you don't want. So, but outside of that, a little bit of a cheeky play here and there. Most of this is going about as expected. Farmville in the bot lane. We didn't really get to talk about it into the draft, but the Maokai into the Lulu Jinx. Do you like that pick, or would you have rather seen something else on the side of MVE?
I do think it may be a little tough. I like Maokai as a champion. I think that Maokai R is like one of the strongest engage tools you can have. I think that in this matchup, he may end up bullied a little bit, as we see. No flag and drag, just a lone Q from the Jarvan. Not going to find anything there, not going for the dive. We'll see, maybe Gnar pushes up too far and gets ganked. Lily is in the area, doesn't seem to want to go for it yet. Okay with Maokai, I think that as long as you don't get like too crazy bullied in the 2v2, like I do think Lulu can bully Maokai in a way, but seems fine so far. So I like the pick for the comp overall, right? I think we put a Maokai R down, a Jarvan R down, and a threatening Shockwave, and it should be a pretty easy team fight.
Yeah, and as we see, the mid lane too is also kind of going the way that you would expect. The Orianna is up in CS early on into the Galio till he gets, you know, his bombies into, you know, the Hollow Radiance, where he's able to actually wave clear consistently and efficiently. We should be seeing that range matchup actually take place for her as an advantage, but eventually he does sort of start to outscale the Orianna as far as being able to sustain in lane. So as of right now, the as the play's coming in now.
Yeah, we'll see a little bit of action here. Champagne Poppy is here on the Lily. Maokai maybe pushed up too far. Lord Draken has the flash, has the exhaust. We'll see if he can get out. Ooh, gets tagged with the zap, though. Not going to expend the summoner spell. He's going to give a kill over to the E-sub player. Mythic Chaos picks up first blood for NGS.
Yeah, and I think maybe an early exhaust into a flash away would have been good. She doesn't have ult, so even though she tagged you, feels like he just kind of gave away a kill for no reason. I know sometimes you accept your fate, but would have liked to have seen him maybe at least try to get out of there, potentially not give the first kill over to the Jinx.
Yeah, it didn't seem quite necessary, but we got a little more action here. Blanco's up at the top side of the fight, making a lot of space. And Pain Poppy is here in the middle. Mythic Chaos quite low, and the Jinx has both sums, though, and they're pushing MVE back. We see Vero goes in on the Jarvan, flash forward, picks up a double kill. Huge play for the MVE jungler. Excuse me, make that a triple kill with the pick on the Lily at the end there. Vero comes up huge on the Jarvan.
Yeah, that was just such odd spacing. You split your team up. The Lulu stuck on the bot side by herself, and and Jinx just kind of just sitting there, and then just walking up with no health into a Jarvan. Never a good idea. And they make them pay, and they get a free dragon out of it. That is a huge momentum swing over for the side of MVE early on in this game.
Yeah, I mean, that's really, really huge. Picking up the dragon on the back of that, too. And this Jarvan is so accelerated, grabbing 3 kills just like that. I mean, he is going to be huge on this pick for the rest of the game. It's going to be hard to shut him down after that. But what went wrong for NGS in that fight? It looked like they had a good setup at the start.
So I think that the call was probably bad. The execution wasn't great either, but the call on that was not good. Just because you won a little bit of a skirmish, the death timers are so low early on in this game, and even though you caught the Maokai, the Jinx and the Lulu were both insanely low. Smolder was not. Smolder got to walk away from that early team fight, or the early gank, at full health, and Jinx and Lulu were both sitting under half health. So I think it was just like a, hey, we won, let's go, like an automatic kind of thing, but bad call. As the Jarvan is now showing up here on the bot side.
Yeah, a little more action here. Jarvan is at level 6. Gonna force the flash from the Lulu just by walking into lane and dropping it down the flag. Now, it doesn't look like they can do much more. No 6 on the Smolder. Still 4 on the Maokai. So we pan back up to the top lane here. Hemo Mage in a lot of trouble in the matchup, really getting punished by the Gnar. This might just be a go. Oh, Aldi over the top, gets the stun under the tower. Termac jumps away, but he will fall to the Volibear, and a bit of hubris there on the Gnar. Didn't quite have his flash back up. Caught out under tower, and Hemo Mage gets a little bit of respite in the matchup.
Oh man, what a great play. If you're Hemo right now, you are just grinning ear to ear on that. He knew exactly what he wanted to do. He stayed low health, waited for the animation for the Gnar ult to start, and then just said, okay, I'm going in here. We're about to get
yeah, a little bit more going in. Galio in with the taunt by Blancos, picks up the kill on the flashless Orianna. Nothing he can do. Almost got a return kill on the Galio, but just not quite enough damage. But yeah, as you were saying about the top lane matchup, that is what we mean by comfort on these champions, right? You can tell this is somebody who has practiced Volibear, who knows how to do these things, like cancels the animation perfectly, like dodging the ultimate with the ultimate. Really, really well played. And now up XP in the top matchup, even on CS, up a kill. Really so happy as they step back into lane. But Jarvan is up on the grubs, making this sort of counter play. Lilia had to recall after that mid play. We'll probably get at least 2 grubs guaranteed, if not all 3 here.
Yeah, I think he's going to get all 3 here. It doesn't seem like Volibear is even aware of this happening. I think he wants to just kind of push his lane advantage here. But Lilia is going to spot the Jarvan out. He is going to give up one of the grubs. They do get the feat for it, but they are denied the 3, which would be huge if Gnar could stop making plays under the enemy's turret and actually use his advantage correctly. That 3rd grub could have been huge, but good job by the Lilia to at least hit the Scrying Orb before going to your blue buff there. So a little bit of I kind of would have liked to have seen them fight over that, but you know, it is what it is.
3 would be nice, but it didn't feel like he had the ability to fight. Gnar pushed under his own tower due to just the unfortunate situation there. And 2, as you said, does give them the stack towards the feats. Now just need 1 more objective to secure the feats, as they did get the feat of Warfare earlier at the bot lane play. And this Jarvan is so active. He refuses to let up the pressure for just even a second. He's now invading on the enemy raptors and going in on mid lane. Flag and drag onto the Galio. He's stunned up by the shockwave. Cataclysm's available, but he doesn't even need it. Gifts over the kill to the Orianna. Tomorrow picks one up, gets the shove, the wave back in. Vero is running the map.
Yeah, and that's huge. That's a really nice good guy play on the side of Vero. Another fight is starting up at the top lane.
Yeah, they just can't help it. They are going to keep scrapping. Flash out from Termac. Gets the stun as well, though. Had the ult backwards. Oh! Volibear flash in. Gets a huge heal off the W2 and a big shield from the Stormcaller. Smacks him down. That's another solo kill for Hemo Mage.
Oh my gosh, and it's just, he is just out playing him every time that Gnar has not learned his lesson, but he will by the end of this match. Even with the Merc Treads, the amount of damage coming out from Hemo Mage on this Volibear, like you were saying, obviously a champion, he's comfortable. He's not just a Vlad one trick, and he's showing it here. Now he is going to end up being the win condition for the side of NGS, and if we keep this up, this could be really, really bad for the side of MVER, but Malevolent does still have the Jarvan, does still have the Smolder, and the Orianna getting that kill is actually pretty big. It got her Blackfire Torch, and that's one of the champions you're going to want for follow-up damage and for the engage damage.
Yeah, and that Blackfire Torch means that they should feel pretty confident to force this dragon if they want it, right? They are up a completed item. Both junglers have a completed item, but only Orianna, as far as anyone else does. They have Maokai ultimate available and Jarvan ultimate. We'll see if they use them here. Cataclysm in the backline finds 3 in the Nature's Grasp over the top. Lulu is dead before the fight even continues. Volibear is now here, though, on the teleport. Here comes the heroic entrance from Galio. Super Mega Death Rocket goes wide. Lord Draken is way in the backline. Both supports gonna fall. Everyone else okay for now. Muscle Mommy trying to get out, has the flash and barrier available, forced to flash, still falls asleep though. Champagne Bobby now on the backside, gonna pick up the kill on the Smolder, and MVE are running for the hills. Vera will escape at the last second with the flag and drag. Tomorrow tries to grab a kill at the end. Oh, but may have greeted and overstayed a little bit, doesn't have the flash. Shield at the last second, but a flash forward from Mythic Chaos. It is a bloodbath in the bot river, but NGS gonna pick up 3 kills and gonna pick up a dragon.
Yeah, and what's even more important than that is Gnar sat up on the top side, caught back up in CS, and actually surpassed it, and is getting 3 plates off of that one play. Huge play for the side of Malevolent Rising. For NGS, they get everything that they want. They even get the dragon afterwards, and that just goes to show you that a Fed jungler is no match for a Fed top Volibear.
Yeah. I mean, he TP'd into that fight at level 10. Right? Like, what are you going to do? This guy is enormous. He TP'd in with the Frozen Gauntlet, I believe, completed. As we see, Vero is here on the top side, a little too low to maybe look for any sort of a play here. Termac wants something, has the Gnar bar, is going to maybe bait the Volibear in a little bit. Gnar's him backwards, flag and drag through the Volibear, so he can get out of this. Has ultimate, has flash available as well. Uses the ult to get out at the start. Stunned up for a while, though, but he kind of wants the 1v2. Seeing if he can heal through it. He absolutely can. At this point, probably gonna have to back off. Vera gonna stand in this bush, see if he can bait him in. Does Hemo walk up and try and get the CS? Not quite sure, as we have another 2v2 down to the bot side. Muscle Mommy taken low. Gonna fall to the Lulith. Oh, but the mom comes through, gets a little bit of healing. Might. Second taken down by Pix. Lord Draken not quite able to save him. Now the Smolder's fallen behind. That's not where you want to be, as we can't rest for even a second, Fel. There is more action to the top side. Lilia is here, gonna land. This doesn't have the sleep up available. Termac will escape with his life, has teleport to get back into the lane. Fel, where are we sitting in the game state?
Right now, I think that Malevolent, although they had the early advantage and pressure with this Jarvan getting so far ahead, I think that NGS has sort of slowed this game down, and like you were saying, did at least push him off the wave, and now the Gnar is going to be forced to back, and then this teleport advantage that he has for the next objective is now going to be down because he's going to be forced under, and we could see a dive coming from Hemo Mage in about a wave and a half when that Volibear ult is back up. But it looks like he's just deciding to back here and just take his money and come back strong to the lane. But bot side now for Malevolent also needs to be very, very careful. We do see the Yuntals being completed on the Jinx, and like you were saying, Smolder behind after being up a little bit feels really, really bad. And yeah, the Jinx can absolutely take over this game in about an item and a half.
We'll see if they can secure the first tower here on the bot side, though. Rotated the Orianna down, and they will pick up the first tower, which should give the feats of strength over to Malevolent Rising. Really nice play. Heads up macro, moving the Orianna down to take that bot tower, letting Smolder farm up the mid wave. But as you said, Smolder behind when he was so far ahead, right? Came out of that early triple kill with stacks, didn't die, didn't lose sums, was feeling so good. That kind of skirmish early where you were just untouched is exactly what you want as Smolder. You want to accelerate your stacks through early game skirmishes, honestly, if you can. That's what's really going to set them further ahead. But now 2 deaths, still up CS, but down quite a bit of gold. Smolder really not where he wants to be and is not going to have much impact in these fights for a while. To see Blanco's toes out from the fog of war. They're gonna grab a 3rd kill on the Muscle Mommy. Goes over to Lulu. Cataclysm is in on the backside, but Jarvan's fallen asleep. Burning down to the Lilia, knocked up by the Galio. Blancos is making so much space as we see Hemo heals for his full health bar on the backside of the fight. 4 down to Malevolent. NGS is running this game.
Yeah, really, really good spacing on this Jinx. Mythic Chaos did exactly what they needed to do, and I actually was a little concerned with the early Lulu ult on the Galio as he came in, but it worked out, and they did a really, really good job of just peeling for this Jinx. Hemo Mage in the backline just trying to tie up the Smolder and the Orion did a really good job with that, so well played on that team fight for NGS, and they're going to get themselves the Rift as well, and now MVE is on the back foot here, where they were in control of the game, so they're going to have to do whatever they can to just sort of stay grounded and go back to what was working for them.
Yeah, the Galio may not have been winning in lane, may have taken some trades that were unfortunate, but he is making so much space in these team fights. He is really a game changer here. Finds the pick on a Muscle Mommy, completely launching this fight. We said that they might struggle a little bit with engage tools for this team comp, right? But look, when your Galio is finding taunts like that, it just doesn't matter. Knocks up the Jarvan there at the end to it. Look at that healing on the Volibear on the top side of the fight. That is just disgusting to watch. Nothing Maokai can do at the end of the 1v4. Yeah, NGS really has control of the map at this point. Dragon is up in about 10 seconds. Volibear has teleport if he wants it. Both top laners do, actually, but vision control pretty solidly to Malevolent. If you're Malevolent, do you contest this at all?
I think maybe you go for a steal, but probably not. It's only the third dragon. It's going to be the second for the side of NGS. You already have the feat, so I would probably just kind of concede this. It does look like Lord Draken's going to want to go and at least try to help them contest this, but you know, you have the Gnar with the teleport, you have Volibear up top with teleport, so we'll end up seeing what happens as the mid lane is going to get destroyed and they're going to go in.
Yeah, here comes the Nature's Grasp. I think they may have found a pick on the mid wave. Oh my god, Jinx shut down in an instant, takes so much damage from the Smolder there. Blancos is in over the top of the Galio ultimate. Flashing from Champagne Poppy finds a 4-man sleep, but there's no one to follow up. It doesn't matter. Double kill to Muscle Mommy. She is popping off in this fight. Finally, MVE picks up 2 kills. Gonna move over to the Drake as well. A huge overstep from Novasphere.
Yeah, that was a really odd Galio ult there. Blancos ults the Lulu, who is already well far away from that fight. Once your Jinx goes down, you kind of have to concede that fight. A little bit of staying too long after a lost play, trying to make lemonade out of you know, lemons. But you know, good try to it. But once this Jinx is down, if Volibear's not there, you got to walk away from those.
Yeah, and Jinx just got completely deleted. Like I don't think got a flash off. Maybe at the very minimum. I don't think got a single other spell off. Just died in an instant. Now 2 dragons over to Malevolent Rising. Gonna be pretty huge. Teleport up to the top side from Termac. Won't have it for any possible fights that break out around Otacon. Who cues into the bush. Good boomerang toss just to make sure the Volibear is there. Does find him. We'll see if he wants to go for his 3rd attempted 1v1. I don't want him to, but he will get stunned up by the Volibear there for a second. Should be okay to get. Yeah, use the Gnar to push him back. Totally fine in this lane, but teleporting in and then taking half your health bar is really not the lane state you want.
No, and you do have the grasp to maybe get this back a little bit, but no, he's should have just let the volley go back when he was on there. But you know, you got to take what you can get. You don't want to give up the CS lead that you have. If you go down 4 kills and you're down in CS, then that's just going to be really difficult for you to even be impactful in this game. One problem that Gnar will have, especially when he's mini form, is that he's not going to be very tanky. And then if you're a full Gnar and you only have 1 item into 2 items into 2.5 items, it does not feel very good. So just trying to keep his wave and just keep the CS going up while Smolder and everybody else tries to get to their scaling points.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see that the issue 2 now down the teleport for the potential Otacon fight. It has spawned here in the bot side, and of course, it's 20 minutes, it's Gladiator League. We're going to hit the Otacon. It's just what's going to happen. Someone is going to hit it. As you see, it has been aggroed. Nobody really trying to take it. I think Blanco's just aggroed it and trying to get vision. Hemo Mage under the tower, doesn't really matter. He heals so much, dealing a lot of damage to Termac. Oh my god, that jump. Gonna jump in, deactivate the tower, see if he can get the kill here. Does have flash, has teleport as well if he needs it. Termac should be able to escape getting the slow off the Q at the end there, but gonna have to back off this tower. Volibear gonna pick up a lot of free farm. Ooh, mismanaged that just a touch. We'll see, does he get the kill here? Has flash if he wants it. Gnar jumps away. Gonna try and clear the wave out of the tower range before Volibear gets it back, but Hemo Mage dominant in this top lane 1v1.
Yeah, and it's like you said, he did have the flash. He could have burnt it over there earlier. Looks like he's going to try to fight this under the turret and just, I don't know, if you're,
Oh, not quite. The Super Mega Death Rocket just doesn't connect. Hemo Mage doesn't find the stun either. Termac gets the little hop out. Now actually totally fine to stay in lane with the grasp. Volibear taken way too low, and this is actually really huge for the Gnar. Didn't really have to blow it. I mean, blew the flash at the beginning, but Volibear blew flash as well. This is Gnar feels fine in this matchup. Actually hits Mega Gnar, but Lilia is here just in time. We'll see Hemo Mage gets a nice stun. Might be just enough to keep him alive, but he lives with a sliver of health. Champagne Poppy over the top right in at the end. Picks up the kill onto the Gnar. With Gnar dead, they will overload this mid lane to push into this tower, but Otacon seems unreasonable for Malevolent with the Gnar down.
It seems like it, but you never know. I honestly see them going for this. They are all on vision, and Maokai wants to fight now. They make the call for the mid lane.
Yeah, looking for to engage. Flash in. Q in the wrong direction, though. Lord Draken maybe a little out of position. Has no flash. Caught out. Has the exhaust if he wants it. Tagged with the zap. Slowed up. Bramble Smash back in, but Blanco's toes dashing in is going to pick up the kill onto the Maokai eventually. Support down for MVE again, just overstaying. Both these teams take the objectives and then just like over push the mid lane ever so slightly and end up getting picked. It seems like they're just taking turns doing that.
Yeah, and they honestly, Draken should have just went onto the Lulu. He wouldn't have had the flash for it. He would have been able to get there. She was completely out of position. Instead, I understand you want to go after the Jinx, but you do have to remember you have a Galio ult that you have to go into. You have barrier and flash on the Jinx. You have a Lulu ult. So maybe a little bit better of the targeting from the Maokai, and that could have been a much better fight for them.
Yeah, we'll see if this sets up an Otacon angle for Novasphere. It is aggroed up, but no, they don't seem quite ready to go for it. I think they're going to need more of a teamfight victory than that. Plus, Dragon up in 50 seconds is going to be a huge potential fight. I do think Novasphere is stronger coming into this Dragon, but Malevolent wants it. It would put them on Soul Point, which would be so huge for them. Jarvan, very strong. Two items on all the carries, actually, other than Gnar, who could be at the fight. Both top laners do have a teleport for this. Only person stuck on one item, though, is the Gnar.
Yeah, and it looks like he's going into a Wit's End as well, which there is a lot of magic damage on the side of NGS. So good itemization, but I don't think he's going to be able to stop this Volibear from being able to get this, and now he's going to be stuck in a 1v1 that he does not want.
Yeah, gonna have to try and run. Tried a little too hard to stop him from taking the tower, and that's just not something you can do to the volley. Gonna maybe chase him down with the Q. I don't think you can catch Termac here. Actually does catch him with the stun at the end there. Still has the jump if he wants it, though. Gonna trade back with a couple of Qs. And Volibear actually just TPing down, knows Gnar can't stop him with the CC. TPing right in the middle of the fight. Actually may get caught a little bit out, but no, Lord Draken seems the one caught out. This Maokai taken really low at the start of the fight that we didn't get to see. Volibear jumping over the top of the unstoppable Hemomage, though, taken really low. Can't quite find the Maokai kill. Does get it at the last second. Blanco's toes now in the middle of everybody. Drowsy onto one. The Jarvan is asleep. The Gnar TP'd in too, but his health bar is so low. Jinx gets reset. Maybe in this fight goes differently, but NGS health bars are so low. Vero forced to flash away from the Infernal Drake for fear of falling to the objective itself, and neither team's gonna get it. Fel, I think we're all gonna recall and try this fight again.
Oh yeah, this is going to be a fight into double. This next fight is going to be for double objectives. So whoever wins this fight is going to get the Drake, is going to get the Otacon, and is going to put themselves on the precipice of winning this matchup more than likely. So it's very important that they don't give it away. I hate seeing a jungler flash away from a dragon, but you know what? You got to do what you got to do, because if you die to that, then you know, NGS could just come over and just take that dragon. Even though they're low, they do still have Lulu, and as we saw in that fight, she can be at a one shot away, but still be able to enable the Jinx and to be able to, you know, shield and speed up the rest of her team. Is Demana did a very good job of just kind of sticking with it and empowering her team, and at least getting it to where both teams had to retreat.
Yeah, absolutely. As you see, both teams back out on the bot side of the map. Now they know they have to fight for this Otacon, have to fight for this dragon. I like the lane allocation from Novasphere. They have Galio in the top lane, who has both R and teleport, can get down to the fight if need be. The Gnar a little bit stuck up at the top lane, 1v1. Although may actually be able to get some work done on the Galio in the 1v1. I believe should probably win that matchup, but not getting a ton done. Hemomage, where we tend to always see him, under the enemy tower, now gonna get rooted up with the Maokai. Bramble Smash backwards, unstoppable over the top of this Nature's Grasp is gonna take him out. Overextension from Hemomage in the bot lane. Tomorrow picks up the kill, and you have to imagine they can convert this into a couple of objectives. Now the bot lane of NGS caught out in the river. Cataclysm on top, flank and drag onto two. Vero picks him up, and a double kill for Tomorrow on the Orianna. That's gonna be 2 objectives to MVE. A huge overextension from NGS, and they all get caught.
Oh yeah, and of all the good that you have done up until this point, you just basically potentially threw this entire game with that play. If you are Hemomage, he's gonna have to make up for that in the ensuing plays, but now he was 5-0 504, 505, and now he's 526. So he has hit a stretch in this game where he is just not carrying his lead from the top lane into the rest of this game, and that is just so deflating if you are on the side of NGS.
Yeah, and the real punish there, they maybe could have come back. They maybe could have looked for a 4v5 or even 4v4 contest with the Galio there if just the Volibear fell. But the bot lane gets caught in the river as well, trying to make their escape. They get stuck over the wall, flashless, and a beautiful combo from Vero and the Jarvan. Cataclysm into the double flag and drag as they try to escape. Just really, really ensures their doom. Now, they didn't actually end up picking up the Otacon on the bot side. Did get Soul Point Infernal Soul, just one dragon away. And as we see, thank you very much to Anti Observer here, hovering over. Smolder is at stacks. That is 230 on the Smolder, a little above the point where he needs to be. She is so strong on the Smolder now, as we see. Termac and Hemomage scrapping as always. I do believe Termac should be able to get out of this if he wants to. Dashing away, yeah. Should be able to retreat to the safety of his tower just fine, although the tower is not a safe place when you are playing against Hemomage. This guy loves being under enemy towers, but shouldn't be anything happening here on the bot side.
Yeah, but it should be in the back of his head too of, hey, last time I did this, I kind of screwed our team. So hopefully he's smart enough not to go in there. I know you don't see where the Lilia is. You do see the bot lane over in mid, but you don't see where everybody is. So you have to be a little precarious when you're on this Volibear. Now it looks like NGS is trying to set up like a little squeeze play, but they're the ones that are getting caught out.
Yeah, they've got a flank angle from the Gnar, though. Termac not quite Mega Gnar, will hit it now at the last second. Heroic entrance over the top does bring the Galio in, but you can see the Smolder stacks starting. Hemomage is in the back line with the Volibear ultimate, but can't quite find anything. Healing up on Tomorrow, actually may find a kill at the Orianna, and Lily is in the back, gets a sleep onto 3, jumping in. Champagne Poppy doing so much work, burns down the Smolder, burns down the Orianna, but Vero is left standing. This Jarvan is so fed alongside the Maokai, can get it done, trading 3 kills for 2, though. NGS comes out just slightly on top.
They do, but they're also so low that now MVE is going to be able to just push this mid turret in if they want it, but it looks like Vero's going to try to maybe drown out some of this. No, he's not even taking the farm away from Champagne Poppy, so just kind of walking away, and then I guess he's just going to push out the top lane, clear out some vision around the Baron. We do still have Otacon and Baron both up, so the next fight should be over the Otacon again. This game is just insanely crazy, just how much work Volibear is doing, basically just barely keeping them in the game.
Yeah, he finally found the team fight there, right? Got the jump into the backside, really like blew up the Orion instantly. And then Champagne Poppy flashing in as well. I do want to shout out a great Lilia play. Gets a 2-man sleep, does a lot of damage, pretty much solo kills Muscle Mommy in the backside of the fight there, but only able to follow up because of how much space Hemomage and Blancos, to be fair, are making in these fights. These 2 tanks are so hard to kill. 3 completed tank items on both, right? And this is a full tank Volibear. Right, none of that Cosmic Drive stuff, none of that Triforce Shogun stuff. This is a full tank Volibear. He knows what he is about. He is about making space for the Jinx and the Lilia to pump out the damage. And so far, they've been able to do that in team fights. The gold lead only about 1k, but we'll see. Hemomage, his fatal flaws, getting caught on side waves. Exhaust is in from Lord Drake, and can they even take him down, though? Huge shield he's got. Gonna ult out, but Vero is here as well. Flag and drag in. Hemomage trying to heal up, trying to see if he can maybe take a kill with him on the Maokai. Doesn't have the damage, though. He's healing for quite a lot, but making a lot of time. They will pick him up eventually. Lord Drake actually has to flash away into the other bush. And meanwhile, on the top side of the map, we see in the picture-in-picture, NGS is taking Baron. They're finally going to pick up the kill onto Hemomage, but the Baron is just gone for the side of Novasphere. Going to grab at a huge heads-up play from Champagne Poppy. Can they catch any kills on the backside of the fight? No, they can't, but Muscle Mommy unable to steal. Hemomage made so much time, and his team comes out on top.
It does, but now they're going to get the Otacon on the side of Malevolent. So Malevolent Rising does get the kill on the Volibear, but like you said, it takes so long to kill him. And oh, we almost saw the Jinx steal. That would have been amazing. But as you were saying, the Volibear just buying so much time. This full tank Voli actually forcing a flash from the other team when you're 1v3 feels so good. So it sucks dying, but on that point, they wasted so much to get to you that you get a free Baron. Yes, you give up the Otacon, but now push the waves out and get yourself into a position where you'll be able to carry into a dragon and stop this Infernal Soul from coming out for the side of Malevolent.
Yeah, and that Infernal Soul has spawned. We see both teams sending all 5 down here immediately. Not going to look for any TP flanks, not looking for any fancy stuff. We are 5v5 team fighting for this dragon. They know they need to now. Actually, NGS unable to get the mid push, even with the Baron buff, sort of retreated off, focusing more on the vision, trying to walk into their own side of the jungle, but really failed to take control of this river, and Malevolent Rising could start the dragon if they want.
Yeah, and I think they should. They should probably force them. If you lose this fight and you lose this dragon, it's just a second dragon for NGS. As...
Ooh, sleep on the Muscle Mommy. She's in the backside, though. Might be safe. Taunted up, though, taken so low. Mama on the top gonna get a bunch of healing. Huge stun from Turnback and the Gnar, but Champagne Poppy on a rampage gets on the backside, finds Muscle Mommy. They find the Gnar as well, and the Orianna and NBE are dropping like flies. Champagne Poppy on the Lilia runs through the team fight. They're gonna grab the dragon as well. It may have been a late contest, but that sleep to start the fight was beautiful.
Yeah, they didn't even have a ward in there, and they were just like, hey, I got the sleep onto the smolder, just go, 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 go. And this is what we were talking about in the pregame, as Vero is just gonna die for the mid lane.
Yeah, oversteps trying to clear the wave. Those are Baron empowered minions, man. You're a Jarvan. You can't do that.
But yeah, as we were talking about prior to the game, this is a go, go, go comp. As soon as she hits the smolder and hits the R, even though it was a one-man sleep, you got everybody that you wanted to, which is the smolder, which is the sustained damage and the burn and the huge threat, and then you're able to just clean up the fight. So very, very well played. Whoever the shot caller is on NGS should give themselves a small pat on the back after that play. Yeah,
absolutely. And really, like, so much work being done. Everybody on NGS is playing these team fights so well, but again, huge. Oh, Azura! We'll talk about that in just a second. Big shockwave coming up from Tomorrow. Almost finds a kill onto the Lulu. Does have to use the wild growth. Will get out scot-free, though. They're going to take their Baron-empowered recalls at the last second they can. Human Mage back on a ward. Should be fine, though. Volibear's fast. But yeah, everybody on NGS is playing these team fights so well. Lilia and Jinx are putting out just the right amount of damage, but like, this Volibear and Galio make so much space. They are so hard to kill. Muscle Mommy's huge on the Smolder, has the right stacks, but like, Smolder's really still not an incredible tank shredder, right? It can burn them down, but without the Infernal Soul and at this sort of a level disadvantage compared to those solo laners, has a really hard time taking them out in any quick amount of time. And there's just not that much more damage left on MVE, right? This Gnar is really quite far behind, still doesn't have a third item completed. 0 and 5 doesn't deal that much damage. Tomorrow hasn't been finding the huge shockwaves that we need in the team fights for MVE to really push through these tanks.
Right, and another thing too is Lord Draken seems like he's trying to dive into the back line while you're diving into a Lulu, and all of your main damage threat, even though he's full tank, is Hemo Mage, and so they're just kind of allowing him to just get on top of the Smolder. I'd like to see Draken, instead of trying to engage all the time during these team fights, it's different when you're getting a pick, but during the team fights, he needs to start just sitting next to the Smolder and Wing whoever comes in there and just queuing them away and getting them, giving your Smolder a chance to just get some shots off and start doing some burn damage. Another thing too is Gnar, with the Wit's End, does give himself a lot of agency for the 1v1, but I really, really would have liked to have seen him have an early... doesn't really have the impact. But speaking of finding picks, Lord Dragon overextended again in the mid lane. Champagne Poppy with a great zone. He has to save himself at the last second. Vero tries to go back in, see if he can salvage anything from this play, but he just can't. Turnback is here. Health bars are really low on the side of NGS. We'll see if Muscle Mommy can take it out. Oh, but gets clipped by the Volibear E at the last second. Triple kill to Mythic Chaos. Lands the zap. Gonna make it presumably a quadra kill. Now gonna give it over to Champagne Poppy at the end of the day there, but that is an Novasphere Gaming Sunrise. I'm gonna push down mid lane. Mythic Chaos, the emergency sub with a triple kill to end the game. Novasphere ending this one out pretty clean after some rocky early team fights. Yeah, that's, you know, I think the Black Cleaver before the Wit's End would have been the play, just to give your Smolder a little bit more agency. But yeah, this is going to be the end here for NGS. Good finish by them. A little bit of a slow start. He gave Jarvan the early game that he wanted, but they did a great job of just sort of staying back. Hemo on the top side absolutely dominated. That was a clinic in the top lane, and just pulled off just long enough that they were able to sort of just ride the wave, keep it cool, keep it calm, and then as soon as they had the plays that they wanted, or they got the Lilia passive onto who they wanted, they just went go, 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 and really, really well done.
Yeah, look, I apologize for doubting the Lilia. I said it in draft. I said, oh, this team sort of lives and dies by how well you can pilot Lilia, and I just don't really know in the Gladiator League. Never mind, Champagne Poppy, you have the Lilia pass. You can play it whenever you want. Incredibly clean stuff. And shout out to Mythic Chaos coming in as an E sub and putting up numbers like this on the Jinx. Really like punished in the lane phase, unfortunately, from the Jarvan team fight. Didn't let it get him behind. Really kept fighting, hit 3 items, put out good damage in every team fight. Like really, really solidly played from Novasphere.
Yeah, and they weathered every single storm that they had to. The Smolder actually got his stacks pretty early on in the game. He was at 230 at like 20-something minutes in. So like they were doing everything right. The only problem was that Gnar overstepped, giving that lane over and dying under the tower to the Volibear, where he just completely outplayed him with the ult on top of the ult under the tower. So I think coming in for game 2, Termac's probably going to have a different outlook on how he wants to play that lane. And if you don't give Hemo that huge lead, then who knows where the early game transcends over into the late game for the side of Malevolent Rising.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have to see what kind of new strategies Malevolent can come up with before this game 2 draft. We're going to be taking a quick break, but we will be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Like, ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? Ay, coming down like precipitation. I ain't never met a limitation. Hate applying my elimination. Gotta go to Google for the information. I'm a superstar, so I gotta shine. Top dollar be the bottom line. Bottom feeding niggas out of line. Turn your heart rate to a dotted line. Yeah, my zodiac probably dollar sign. Got the energy to win it, my nigga, I'm feeling great. Got a date with destiny, focusing on my fate. I don't give a fuck what you rapping, you been a fake. I'm everything that they ain't, it can't be, it won't be. Wanna see me fall, I can't go, I won't leave. Coming from the block with plain clothes and police. Straight up to the top with bankrolls and rollies. Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? Ay, 12 can't really stop shit, so I'm still pushing like a mosh pit. Ice dripping, think I'm hot shit. In a yellow bucket with the mop stick. I've been jugging jams like wholesale. Everything must go sell. Hitting bitches with the oh well. Need 100 million on the low scale. On my worst night, I'm the best nigga. Wouldn't mess with you, couldn't cap to him. Homie spotted me like 700, brought 1100 right back to him. If I can't do it, then it ain't real. I just make dollars, I don't make deals. I've been going hard in the paint, still blowing kush clouds till I can't feel like. Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right?
you.
Hello and welcome back to the Gladiator League Week 3 games. I'm Mojo Powell. That's Fel. If you missed Game 1, Novasphere Gaming Sunrise picked up a fairly convincing but hard-fought victory in Game 1.
Yeah, it was very chaotic, as it tends to be. The biggest thing is the top lane matchup, itemization, and then obviously one glaring thing was Lord Draken on the Maokai. Really, really good early on, but at some point, hopefully he learns that he needs to shift over from the engage Maokai to the peel Maokai. If the team fights were a little bit cleaner on the side of Malevolent Rising, they probably could have had a chance there. They weren't down, like they weren't getting smacked around with wallets or anything. It was just bad team fight communication. They had a plan and they just kind of went away from it. So interesting to see what happens here. The biggest shout out though has to go over to Hemo over in the top lane, because he absolutely ran a clinic on that Volibear.
Yeah, complete Smurf performance in the top lane. In a matchup that coming into the game, we both predicted as being like pretty terrible, right? In a matchup that we were like, oh man, he's going to get really bullied in this lane. But like a couple of really clean outplays in the early game and pushed his lead to the maximum in those team fights. I do want to shout out though on Malevolent. I think Vero and the Jarvan played really, really well. Got some great early action happening, picked up an early triple kill and did push that lead into like real objectives, right? They got 3 dragons lined up pretty quickly. He was playing mechanically like really clean on the Jarvan. So if we can keep him on some kind of pick like that, I think we're in a good spot.
Yeah, and also tomorrow on the Orianna did a really good job. It just got to the point where Voli was just so strong, and he was able to just bully his way into the back line. And since there was no peel for the Ori or the Smolder, it just kind of like fell apart, and they just were never on the same page. They had, like I said, they had a really good idea of what they wanted to do. They just didn't do it. But yes, Vero early on did exactly what he was supposed to do. Got his Smolder ahead. Well, 3 assists on the Smolder. Got himself ahead. But did change that into getting the first 2 grubs, getting the first dragon, getting, taking advantage of all the small mistakes that were made by the other 4 of Novasphere. Unfortunately, they just weren't able to deal with the Volibear. As one of our production members had said, 800 gold for anti-heal could cut those down a little bit. So I'm sure that they talked after the game, and if they play this game the way that they did the early game and they actually transition it into the late game and Termac plays a little bit smarter on the top lane, there's a way for them to come back and make this series 1-1.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we try and keep Termac, like, I don't think the pick was an issue. He was playing aggressive on the Gnar as well, right? I do think we can keep him on like a skill testing top lane pick, get him a counter matchup again if we can. Like, I think that's totally fine to do. I think the early action from Vero was really great. And as you said, Tomorrow was doing great in the lane phase, especially had a sizable lead on the Galio. But I do think that the draft pool is a little bit cinched as far as those point and click engagers that we were talking about go, right? We're down Jarvan, we're down Maokai, these kinds of things. So what are the sort of prio picks that you're looking for going into game 2?
I think, as always, for the junglers, especially on the side of Malevolent, is probably going to be the Wukong or the Nocturne, paired up along with, something in the mid lane that's going to be able to do something with that. I wouldn't mind seeing, like, I don't know these guys' champion pools or not, but like a Twisted Fate Nocturne kind of combo. I know it got banned out in the first one, but if you're blue side, it's an easy way to sort of force that pick. Other than that, I think that, the Amumu, the Sejuani, a Nautilus jungle that we've seen a lot in, especially in these lower tier leagues, would be a good thing too. But I mean, if you're on the side of Novasphere, more comfort, whatever you're comfortable on, because they really, really showcase that they can pilot champions that have a lot of mechanical requirements to get them to work.
Yeah, absolutely. They've shown that they've got the hands. We'll see if they commit to that in the draft phase here. Is Caitlyn the first ban from MVE, who I believe have chosen a blue side after game 1.
Like
makes
that.
sense. I mean, yeah, I think you want to try to get the Wukong pick, something like that. But I do see the argument for trying to like keep your top laner in a counter matchup, especially after getting gapped.
Yeah, I want to keep him on the top lane or on the counter pick, and also it wasn't the draft and it wasn't the team comp that failed. It was just a few mistakes here and there where they just outpositioned themselves. So it was their own mistakes that were kind of screwing them over. So I would have liked to have seen them stay on the red side. I thought they had a good idea of what they wanted to do and how to execute it. They just didn't execute it when they needed to.
So as we see 3 bot lane bans here from MVE, similar to the first game, Caitlyn, MF, and Emilio going to do the bans. All 3 bans is from MGS. As well as, if you missed it, Mythic Chaos is an emergency sub for the side of Novasphere. Played great on the Jinx in game 1, seemed to slot into the team just fine, as we'll see what pick he ends up on as the Sivir for Muscle Mommy on MVE.
Yeah, so the Sivir is good. You know, you're going to be playing on tempo here. Once she gets like 2 or 3 items too, and if there's a lot of melee champions or they're all grouped up, you know, you can get a lot of damage out of that Sivir. It's a super strong late game carry. Into the Zeri, who's also a very strong late game carry, especially paired up with an Enchanter or something like that, or even a Braum is good too because she can double tap her auto attacks. So, and a lot of peel for her, just like they had a lot of peel for the Jinx in game 1.
Yeah, I don't mind the Zeri Braum as a lane. Vi going to be the point and click engage though for Vera that we were looking for. So not the Wukong, but Vi works almost just as well, right? I really do think this is a good pick in this kind of thing. No, not a fan?
I just think that the Wukong would have been stronger. You're going to have to deal with the Braum shield. So if you are ulting into the backline and Braum just W's over to her, gives her 30, 40 armor and magic resist, and then he puts his shield up, it's like, what's the follow-up? You know, unless you're going to be making plays for other champions and you're just going to try to ignore the Zeri, which is never a good idea. I would have liked to have had something else instead of the strong engage. I thought that maybe they would have learned their lesson and stuck to more of a 5v5 front to back kind of composition. But if it does work and she does get on top of people, you know, it could be really, it could spell really detrimental for the side of NGS.
Yeah, Vi Ahri is a tried and true combo. Ahri, another of the slightly more complicated to make work in a team fight champions. I mean, hit the charm, but like hard to make her do as much damage as some other picks. We do see the Vladimir banned out. Not going to get it this game for Hemo Mage. We were talking behind the scenes that we kind of wanted to see it, but I do really like the Lissandra pick for Blancos. I think that like what he showed really capable of in game 1 was like making big space in team fights on the Galio, and on the Lissandra, that's going to be easy to do as well.
Yeah, it's a point and click. Ultimate, if you get caught, you can ult yourself. If the Vi comes into the back line or Ahri's trying to get away, you can ult her. There's so much stoppage and crowd control on the side of NGS and so much protection for the Zeri along with the Braum. And now we see the Nocturne coming out as the answer for the Vi. I think that's a perfect pick. You're going to be able to just get back into their back line and make plays from anywhere on the map. So NGS is coming up with a draft comp that I really like.
Yeah, I'm down with it too. We'll have to see what rounds it out here though. On R5, it is the Puppy counter pick for Hemo Mage in the top lane, I believe, going into the Ornn for Termac.
Yeah, and that just stops the Ornn, it stops the Ahri, it stops the Vi unless she's ulting.
Oh god, like, into Rakan too.
And the Rakan is, as an old Rakan main, that is one of the least favorite. That and Talia are the 2 champions that I do not want to see on the Rift when I'm playing that champion. It does look like MVE are going to try to do the same thing. They're going to try to do the go, get into there. Hopefully they do a little bit better job of, you know, having some patience and fighting front to back. But it does look like they're going to try to jump on top of this Lissandra, jump on top of the Zeri, or make the Nocturne pay if he overcommits on his ults. But yeah, NGS has such a good comp here. I really enjoy this comp that they've put together as an answer to what Malevolent is trying to do.
100%. I mean, as you said, Malevolent, both last game and this game, drafted really heavy, like, go, engage comps in the way you phrase it, which I love. I think that maybe that seems to just be their thing, right? Like, this is the thing they feel that they're good at, they feel that they're strong at doing. And so, NGS knowing that, they pick the protection comp, they pick the sort of kite back. We'll play Braum, Lissandra, Poppy, stop your engage, like, completely stuffy. This Poppy is a headshot of an R5 pick. I think this Poppy is, like, 1v9 this game, and we saw Hemo Mage do it in game 1.
Yeah, and I think when you're watching this draft come up and it's live and you're Hemo, you're just like, all right, what are the champions I want to play into this one? This would be good. And then like as soon as the Ornn Rakan comes out, you're like, Poppy, just send it, just give it to me. And you know, a lot of sustain in lane, its own shield does really well into 4 out of their 5. champions, and then, you know, if the fight comes out and there's 3 people on top of the Zeri and you ult them away, there's just 2 carries just sitting there like staring at you. Also with Lord Draken, hopefully he learned his lesson from game 1, but this comp is not looking like it's going to suggest that. I do want to see him sticking around the Sivir, sticking around the Ahri, and using his jumps and his shields and everything, and just please peel. That's all I want to see is a lot of peel from him. You have other go buttons. You don't need to be the go button on this Rakan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and these are multifunctional champs for Novasphere as well, right? Like Lissandra, Nocturne, Poppy as a top side sounds like really, really great pick champs to me, right? Like so easy to find a strong dive, a really good pick off the back of a Nocturne ultimate, things like that. And you do have to be wary if you are MVE, right? Of not feeling like you are the aggressor or you are the beatdown at all times, and knowing they can come to us. Like they are not just a complete kite back. They do still have Nocturne.
Yeah, no, they do, and they have a little bit of their own engage too. You know, the Braum can jump up on top of somebody. Maybe Lissandra gets into the back line, Braum jumps to him. They get double ults off, and you know the Zeri follow-up damage is very, like, it comes out of nowhere, where you're just like, yeah, I'm pooping on this champ, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I'm dead, you know? So if Mythic can pilot the Zeri well, this is going to be really, really hard for MVE. They're going to have to hope that either the Ahri or the Ornn somehow get ahead, and they can play around that kind of the way that NGS played around the Voli in game 1.
Yeah, absolutely. I do think trying to play through this Ahri is a good idea. We saw a lot of really, really great stuff from Tomorrow, especially in the lane phase of game 1, right? Like, really put the hurt down onto Blancos in the lane phase. We'll see if he can do it again, maybe get some sort of advantage. And I do think that Vero on the Vi, like, we saw him on the Jarvan, he made some really great early plays. If he can get some of the same early action, especially in the bot side, maybe set the Zeri behind in the same way as game 1, they could be off for a good start. But it is an uphill battle, especially you're down 1-0 in the series. Like, NGS with only 1 ban so far in this game, it gets a draft like this. It's not what you want to see if you're Malevolent, but they are going to fight until the very end. If there's one thing we know about the Gladiator League, Fel, it is that no matter what, these teams are going to bash each other until one Nexus falls. Here we go on to the Rift for Game 2 of Malevolent Esports Rising versus Novasphere Gaming Sunrise.
I really would have liked to have seen an invade here from the side of Malevolent. You do have a much stronger level 1 here, but unfortunately they didn't go for it, and it looks like they're just going to be a little cheeky out in the middle here. Hopefully Lissandra, I thought she was going to Q that by and draw first blood there, but Lord Draken does on the Rakan. A Q start on the Rakan.
Yeah, not the invade kind of ability that you're looking for, but keeps are fine for the lane. Ignite on both supports, barrier on both ADs. I do want to point out no cleanses on inter-team comps that I would argue could warrant a cleanse.
Yeah, I think. So I get into this with my buddies all the time when we're casting, we're watching these, and you have to remember it's IBSG, and so the thought process is probably more along the lines of no matter what, Ahri just gets chunked down quickly. I'm probably not going to use my cleanse properly. Barrier will definitely give me what I want and what I need every single time I want to use it, so maybe it's more along that side instead of the what would be better, but if you can't pilot that correctly, then you're probably better off just taking the barrier.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good shout out. Comfort was sort of our main talking point going into game 1, right? Comfort is the thing that we want to see these players on, especially in the Gladiator League. And if barrier is what you're comfortable with, then barrier is what you should be taking. So we got a little split screen here watching the laning phase of a couple of these different lanes. Blanco's really putting the hurt on Tomorrow in the mid lane. This Lissandra proc the electrocute level 1, just got a ton of damage down, and then that makes for a pretty easily pushing lane. As the top lane matchup, not too much going to happen early on.
No, it's going about as expected. Ornn 1 and 2 until he hits his level 3 power spike, and you know you kind of have to like step into him, and he has to sort of like make you pay for bad moves. But Hemo, if you know anything from him from game 1, isn't going to let that happen, as he does actually end up getting knocked up.
Yeah, it takes a bit of a hit there. Yeah. Tomorrow throws out a charm, last second, tries to catch Blancos, doesn't quite get it. Oh, root under the tower, forces the flash out from Vero, and he falls. Oh, it's a tragedy for MVE as first blood to Blancos, he flashes in for a double kill on the Ari. He is styling on them.
Blancos on the Lissandra. We thought he had to play from behind on the Galio and play a little passive. Now he's on a champion where he can actually make plays happen, and we see what happens when he does that. That was a really, really well done for Blancos, and that feels so good when that happens. As Champagne is now going to try to make this a 3-kill, but good ward from Termac should get him out of here just fine. Just gonna force him off the wave and make him lose a little bit. But now that's a little bit of a freeze if Poppy plays that correctly, as we're gonna see this play again.
Yeah, we gotta get a replay of this. This was so sick. Vero clearly feels a little pressure to make something happen in the early game. Gets a good amount of damage onto Blancos, but is just barely in tower range there. Tanks one too many tower shots. Tomorrow gets hit with the shadow clone too at the end there, and flash Q through the wave. Blancos really punches heavy, but Vero not gonna be stopped by that. Goes in on the bot side, tries to get something done. Flash out from the mana. They will escape, but Vero still making plays, not discouraged.
No, you can't let that one mistake stop you from being who you are. And he does a really good job of just getting what he needs out of there. He gets the flash out of the Braum. They're going to be able to push this wave in and then try to set up around for an early dragon. As we see, NGS is now trying to. Oh, he's coming back to the mid lane.
He's back, baby.
Yeah. Not going to fall for it again. Wants to sort of stop the cannon, which he does. So a little bit of a good gank from there. Sometimes just showing up is enough, especially when you're on a champion like Vi.
The way that bot gank went is clearly how the mid gank was supposed to go, right? Like walk in, get a little bit of a lane advantage for your buddies, push them off the wave a little bit, and then get out. But just got caught under tower a little too long. But as you said, not discouraged. Has now ganked all 3 lanes since dying. Yep, and that's what happens when you play Vi into Poppy.
Yeah, just wait until that W's on a lower cooldown and he's stopping Ornn from crashing into the pillar every single time. So this is not the way I thought it was going to go. Blancos on 3 kills now is just absolutely demolishing this. I think we're going to get a replay.
Yeah, we missed a kill here. I didn't even see it on the ticker. Hits level 6, just goes in. Tomorrow has no flash. You can't walk up like that.
Yeah, no flash, no ult to get away, no distancing for yourself. And
might have had flash.
probably,
I assumed
they used it the first time. So
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I assumed it was a spectator bug, but they did not use it in that first death. Just died with flash up twice.
Yeah, as we do see now, the Poppy has hit 6, but so is Termac here. And if he wants to pull this on here, he might be able to get a solo kill on the Chemo, but just low on mana here. He opted for the Cull instead of a Tier or Bombies or anything else. So I guess he's just not afraid to die and is just going to try to get a little bit of a mid-game spike on items here for Termac on this Ornn. But both teams starting to get some vision up around the dragon, and looking like they're going to want to try to fight either a 4v4 or a 3v4 if they can get it over for this. But with Lissandra so strong, I don't know how you contest this if you're Malevolent.
Yeah, that's going to be a really hard sell for me, especially Lissandra ultimate just came back up after the solo kill as well. That cooldown not that long, even early game. Right, has it back already. Ari does not have the ultimate. Vero is here again. No flash on the Braum. Maybe a little caught out. No, gonna get out. Does force the flash out of Mythic Chaos as well. Now, no flashes on these bot laners, but I still think this contest is an uphill battle for MVE.
Oh, yeah, it is. And especially when you're 0-2 on the Ari and you're just getting pushed into your tower. And, until you get a little bit of CDR and you're able to get your passive to spike and get more sustain through using your spells, it's just really hard when you're behind on a champion like this. And Blanco's pulling this really well, and NGS is going to get this dragon. There's no contest whatsoever.
No.
I wouldn't be surprised if they send Draken up to the top side to try to secure at least the grubs. But you are going into a fed level 8 Lissandra on your way up.
Yeah, and importantly, Champagne Poppy is now level 6 on the Nocturne, ticked over to it by killing the Dragon. Vero level 6 as well, but could look for a pick with the Nocturne. Lissandra ult, again, as we said, is up. If they get some vision on these grubs, they do have vision on the Ornn in the bush. Not sure if he knows he's sitting on a ward there. Gonna back off. They're gonna see if they can claim a grub here as MVE. They have rotated most of the team up. Lord Draken is here. Both supports, however, are here. Hemo Mage gonna dash in. They didn't get a single grub, and now Champagne Poppy's on them.
Yeah, and MVE just, they're going to have to concede this, but you know what? It's actually smarter to sort of give this up. But what I would have liked to have seen is if they knew they were going to have to give this up, that you have Draken just stay in the bot lane and try to push onto the Zeri and try to get a catch for your Sivir. Unfortunately, because Zeri, you know, with no flash, unfortunately, they made the wrong call. But we'll see if they're able to just sort of weather this storm the way that NGS was able to weather the storm early on in Game 1.
Yeah, absolutely. As we take a look at these CS things too, I would like to say that there's a pretty large, like 10 CS lead in the bot lane. Apropos of kind of nothing, right? Like, NGS got both of their flashes blown to the bot lane, still up 10 CS in the matchup, as Sivir really not where you want to be.
No, it's not, and it's kind of weird because you also got a gank and a half, you know, from Vero down there too. So, and Draken's been doing really well on this Rakan, following the Vi in when she goes and getting good knockups on the Braum, but they haven't been able to do anything with it. But Sivir has caught back up, and the wave is shoving. They are using the tempo, but they do have Braum, and they have Nocturne sitting over here as top lane now.
Call of the Forge God canceled by the Poppy there. Does get the ult, just a little bounce up on Termac. We'll see. Hemo Mage flashes out. Termac flashing in, but he's can't find the kill on the Hemo Mage, who feels confident to walk back up. Has the passive stacked. Gonna pop it on a minion to see if he can crash this wave before Termac gets enough mana back.
Yeah, Tarmac, unfortunately, just not using his resources very well. I haven't been watching to see if he's just blowing it all on trying to hit Poppy or if he's using it too much to clear out the minions. He does have his bombies up, and once his Sunfire is done, he should be able to clear these waves without having to use his abilities too much. But as of right now, it's just not going his way up here in the top lane.
No, it is not going MVE's way in just about any lane. This Ahri really suffering the mid lane. CS has been fine, but down a level, down an item. Malignance is complete for Blanco's first completed item on the map. Gonna follow the E and actually gets tagged with the charm from Tomorrow. Spirit Rush out, but might fall. Yeah, does die to the Lissandra with 2 charges left of the Spirit Rush and still has flash up, Phil.
Yeah, that's God, it feels bad. Like I saw that play coming from a mile away, but unfortunately, Ahri got a good charm off, got what they wanted. Just doesn't have the damage that Lissandra does. That Malignance just does so much and shreds a lot of magic resist on this Ahri. So there's just no hope for her once Lissandra gets on top of her.
Yeah, absolutely, and that lead extending to 4-0. Now Sork Shoes completed for Blancos as well. This Lissandra is an absolute menace. Gonna be roaming around like really impossible to contest these objectives. Dragon up in a minute 20, and you have to imagine it's gonna go over to Novasphere as well.
Oh yeah, they're in complete control of this game. The only thing that they can do is try to punish an overextension. Like if Vi was hovering around the mid lane, maybe be able to punish Blancos when he uses his ult offensively, but just not being able to be there. And you know, you as a jungler, you still have to clear your camps. You can't just sit there on top of waves while the Nocturne is just continuing to gain a bigger CS lead. As we see, Vero is now trying to come into the bot side here, as they are going to go on this.
Yeah, never discouraged. Vero looking for a lane gank here on the Vi. Does force the flash out of Demana. They will get out, though. And nothing lost, nothing really gained. Flash of the Braum is nice. Not the biggest thing in the world for MVE. I don't think that's going to, like, open up a window for them to contest.
No,
see Champagne Poppy. Yeah, looking for a play on the mid lane. Blancos has the ultimate back up, and Tomorrow is just dead again. The kill goes over to Lissandra again. That is 5-0 for the NGS mid laner.
Yeah, game 1 was Hemo's time to shine. This time it is Blancos. He's like, all right, put me on something besides the Galio. Let me show you what I can do. And he is just controlling this mid lane. They've gotten every objective off of it because of his plays as, Lord Draken and Muscle Bobby are doing their best, but...
Yeah, nice knock up into the charm from the Rakan. Gets stacked with the concussive blows and stunned up. Does have to dash out. Muscle Mommy now concussive blows stacked on him as well. Mythic Chaos fallen pretty low on the Zeri, pop the ultimate. Overall, that's a decently sized win for MVE's bot lane. Again, they're scrapping, they're doing all they can, but the advantages they are getting are just nothing compared to how wide open this mid lane is.
Yeah, and Lord Draken playing this Rakan really well, actually. Got 2 Qs off in that fight and was able to transfer that healing over to Muscle Mommy, so she was safe the entire time. Just not enough damage on this Sivir yet. Before she even bought the BF sword, that fight was happening, so maybe if the BF sword is there. But just a trade for ults and a couple of summoners, and they're back. And NGS has Prio in the mid lane and is going to be able to take this dragon once again.
Yeah, that's second dragon for NGS. This is like such an advantageous position.
Vi coming into the mid lane again. But
yeah, Vera looking for a play. Yeah, just going to steal away enemy Raptors, not able to find anything there. Champagne probably going to take down this Ocean Drake, open up opportunities for a soul. They got the grubs as well as both of those Drakes, and that should be feats for NGS. As we see Hemo Mage maybe a little bit caught out. Vi coming in from behind after the invade, gonna let the channel almost fall, but gets it just in time. Charm misses from Tamara, but Hemo Mage taken very, very low, doesn't have the flash, dashes back in on the Ornn. Almost picks up a kill, and a turn back taken so low, but Hemo Mage will fall in the end. Tamara flashes over the wall, lands the charm this time. Q2 pullback will get a kill for the Ahri, but the mid lane tier 1 falls in response. That's a lot of time committed, and trade kill for the mid lane tier 1. I don't even know if that's even worth it.
No, it's not. I guess it's all going to depend here if they try to go under the turret here and dive here. Muscle Mommy is coming out pretty far, and Mythic Chaos is going to get caught. But
yeah, wow, Mythic Chaos almost falls, gets away. Oh, just has not quite enough life left, but Muscle Mommy overextended so far. They wanted that kill so badly, but Blanco's Toes is here, and he is dominating. Lord Draken might just get out yet on the Rakan. Blast going over the wall. Has enough dashes that he should be fine here, but Muscle Mommy had to flash in order to get that kill on the Mythic Chaos. We trade AD carries, but another kill to the Lissandra. NGS is fine with this.
Yeah, and she's already got the needlessly large rod. It looks like she's probably going to be going over for Zonia's, and once she gets that, she's going to be so hard to kill. No matter how many times you get on top of her, she's going to be...
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Under the turret. Yeah. But she's going to, once she gets that Zonia, she's going to be so hard to kill. She's not even going to have to think twice about using her ult offensively and to peel and everything that she wants to do. Whereas, she'll still be able to be safe enough from the using the Zonias. So this Lissandra is going to be a huge problem for Malevolent to deal with.
Yeah, already is. The Rift Herald is spawned up on the top side. Blancos doesn't have TP if they want to fight it, but honestly, the leads that they're getting from Lissandra should allow them to claim it anyways. Draken stunned up on the wall, grounded as well. Does get the dash out just there at the end. Nothing expended, though, from the side of NGS. A little bit of a chunk onto Rakan, as we'll see. Posturing for control of this Rift Herald. They have their bot lane moved up Mythic Chaos and Mana in the river. They're going to take over the mid wave, presumably, as Blancos is roamed up as well. It looks like they want to fight.
Yeah, and if you're NGS, you definitely want to fight this. And if they engage onto you, all the better, because you're going to have the Nocturne follow-up, the Lissandra follow-up. So we do see Vero trying to go in on top of this Poppy, but they do see that the rest of the team is starting to join them. But now it's going to be the first 5v5 of the game.
Yeah, here comes Call of the Forge God, does hit 2. Blancos is fine, though, still half health. Does get out at the very last second. Ahri stunned up on the wall. Spirit Rush over the wall as Ornn has to flash as well. Mythic Chaos picks up the first kill, though, on the Muscle Mommy. The Sivir is already down. Zeri will follow to the Vi cease and desist at the very end, but Champagne Poppy over the top tomorrow, trying to get anything done on the backside of this fight, but just doesn't do any damage. Grounding of the Ornn. Hemo Mage gets a nice use of the Poppy W, as we'll see. Blancos could TP back in if he wants. Actually, just going to head back out to the bot side. Champagne Poppy still full health, means that NGS should be able to take the Rift Herald off the back of a really, really nice scrap.
Yeah, that was like super close too. If Tomorrow just had a completed item, that could have gone the other way.
Yeah, oh man.
Really well played on this Ahri. Caught 3 Qs in that entire skirmish, and did everything that they were supposed to. Played that really, really well. If that's a tale of what's to come, then Tomorrow on this Ahri might be able to carry this game and get them into the late game where Sivir is going to be able to shine, but Blancos is going to be able to get a lot of damage on this bot turret. Termac is going to answer, but we do know that he's not going to be able to chase that Lissandra really anywhere. after this. So really, really well done by MVE to make the best of a bad situation. You get a couple kills. You got one on your Sivir. You got another on the Vi. So now you're just trying to claw back into this game and just take whatever you can as, you know, NGS just keeps getting objective after objective.
Yeah, you'll take it. I mean, look, trading kills is what you want to do when you're behind. You have to get the gold back somehow. Blanco's actually also, like, importantly, got really chunked at the start of that fight. Actually had kind of little to no impact in that fight. Like, tanked a lot of damage, made a lot of space, but couldn't get any damage off, and they still won the fight, right?
Yeah.
Mythic Chaos did enough damage. Hemo Mage made tons of space on the Poppy. As we said, this pick is completely 1v9 in these team fights. Just, like, stops the Ornn, stops the Vi, stops the Rakan, stops the Ahri, who was already dead at that point, but, like, just doesn't matter. We'll see. Next dragon is up in 7 seconds, and both teams are here. It does look like Malevolent wants to contest. Termac is down here. As we see, Tomorrow actually stuck in the top lane against Blancos with no teleports. The Lissandra can join at any time. The Ahri cannot. Draken caught with the hit of the concussive blows. Not caught out, though. Hemo Mage in the middle of 4, actually taking a ton of damage. Ooh, Keeper's Verdict knocks him out, but will fall to the Vi at the very last second, but Vi gonna fall as well. Lissandra has now teleported in. That's 1 kill to NGS. Looking for a second one as the Nocturne ultimate goes down. Stun up on the Muscle Mommy, stun up on the Lord Drake, and the Lissandra picks up another one. Blancos is godlike on this Lissandra pick. That is going to be a 3rd dragon to Novasphere, and MVE is in shambles.
Yeah, and at what point were they going to tell the Ahri that they were going to pull the trigger on that? She's sitting up there trying to get an objective bounty, trying to push the top wave out and get like a little bit of payback on here. I don't like the idea of going in there without your Ahri, even though she's so far behind. She's a ton of utility in these team fights where she's able to get her charms off and get more damage, and you know, between her and Sivir, those are your 2 main damage dealers. Once Vi goes in, there's not really much else she can do, and unfortunate that they do that play after having Ahri up top there, as Rom is just gonna ride Shelly.
I think it's gonna make it. I don't think it's gonna. Oh no! At the very last second, doesn't make it. Does get charmed. Has the Unbreakable Will be totally fine. Stand beside me. Dashes back to Blancos, but the Herald doesn't get any extra value for NGS. Gold lead already about 4K for NGS, and I completely agree. Going in on the 4v5, contesting that 3rd dragon when you're already down, I believe they were down 3K gold at the time, like, just seems a little ill-advised. I think if Ahri's not there and we want the objective bounty, go in, you can trade 1 for 1 on the kills and then back out. Like, it's okay to give over this 3rd dragon if you're 4v5, or bring all 5 down and really fight.
Yeah, and the other side of that too is that you jumped onto the Poppy and you got her like really low, but she had just enough to get 2 knocked out of that fight as soon as it started. So really, really well done by Hemo Mage to just sort of wait out all the CC that was coming your way, and then start your ult and actually make it 5v2 instead of, you know, 5v4 as they're going again.
Vero cannot be stopped, wants to make a play no matter what. Tomorrow hits the charm this time, though, so they will get a kill on a Mythic Chaos. The E-sub ADC for Novasphere. Damana will get out. The sliver of health left. Tomorrow picks up a kill on the Ahri. Really important. And look, shout out Vero, man. This guy is trying his best to make plays happen on the map. He will not stop going in. And this one works out. They're not going to get the mid-tier 1 off of it, but do get a pick on a Mythic Chaos, so, you know, we'll take it.
Yeah, and getting Sivir that closer to her 3-item power spike, you know, that's going to be huge for them whenever they can get there. So if they can buy the time here, Otacon is more than likely going to go over to the side of NGS, but if you can sort of just wait this out, get Sivir to a point where Draken keeps playing this Rakan this way, where he's actually peeling and he's actually just like assisting in engages and not being the entire engage onto the backline. They keep playing like this. There is a way that they can come in from behind and win this fight, win this match.
Yeah, see a bit of action on the mid lane. Paranoia pop. The blind is down, and Lord Draken is down with it. Muscle Mommy gonna try to get out, doesn't have the spell shield for that, though. Concussive blow stacked up, and Blanco's Toes performance, I completely agree, is legendary. The MVE bot lane will fall, and NGS moving right up to that Otacon.
Yeah, it's just another one of those, like, you have Nocturne on the enemy team, you can't be up there, especially when you're down in every lane except for your bot lane, which you're still kind of down. Just such a disadvantage. for their team, and just can't be caught out in the middle like that. Rakan can only do so much healing for you before he gets killed himself, and you're just stuck there with a stride breaker Nocturne.
Yeah, look, walking up into Nocturne is one of those classic mistakes you can make in League, right? And it seems to happen time and time again, but this time really, really costly for MVE. Novasphere will pick up the Otacon off the back of that. Now, an objective bounty did go over to Tomorrow on the Ahri objective bounties. I believe have turned off as the gold lead. Still about 4K for NGS, but Tomorrow doing what he can to pick up those bounties on either side of the map, grab those tier 1 towers when he could do it, try and set himself up to like maybe get a couple more items before this next dragon fight. But this next dragon is Soul. As you see, Lord Dragon does have a flank here on the Hemo Mage, but Tomorrow takes so much damage, misses the charm as well. Does get the knock up on the Hemo Mage, but can they even kill this Poppy? So tanky. Stun into the wall, almost kills Tomorrow right out. Does land the ground there at the last second. Doesn't get charmed up either. Oh, and sidesteps the Rakan W. This Poppy is styling on them.
Yeah, he's just breaking ankles at this point. That feels so bad when you send 3 that way and you pop a couple ults and you still can't even get there. The Rakan ult didn't even trigger onto this Poppy, so Hemo feeling really good. They blew a lot just for that, and they're not getting anything out of it, and the rest of your team is still able to just farm in the mid lane, farm in the top lane, keep pushing these waves, and keep the tempo up against MVE. Maybe Poppy is not the one you want to be expending everything when you catch her out.
Yeah, we're overloading one side of the map, 3v1, trying to get a pick, and we can't even find the kill. It's so punishing the other side of the map, and he's doing it again. Hemo Mage sidesteps the charm, stuns Vera into the wall. This time, I do think he will fall. Spirit Rush popped by Tomorrow. Paranoia is popped as well. They want to fight this. Hemo Mage flashed out in the bush. They lost vision of Hemo Mage, and here comes the teleport. Blancos is here on the Lissandra. Hemo Mage still alive. Oh, my, stuns up Ahri into the wall, and Blanco's toes puts down so much damage. Hemo Mage is insane on the Poppy. Triple kill the Blancos on the Lissandra. Kill the Champagne Poppy as well. MVE fallen Hemo Mage walks out scot-free.
What did they say? The definition of insanity is trying the same thing over and over and expecting different results. Hemo gets out by the skin of his teeth yet again, and they're able to turn that away. I would like to see Mythic not push this mid lane inhibitor in right now. It's very early on in the game, and I don't think that they have a closeout for this, but they are picking up yet another dragon. They do take the mid lane inhibitor, which Draken is doing the right thing and letting it come back for the Sitter to just try to clean this up and get to her 3rd item, but really, really insane plays on this Poppy. Everything is working out in his favor. Even though he doesn't have the lead that he had on the Volibear, he is still playing this so well.
Yeah, I've been like in watching this game in the back of my head. I've been trying to cook up like, what's the argument for like who's the MVP of this series, right? Like assuming that Novasphere wins, which obviously the game's not over yet, but assuming Novasphere wins this game, like, is it Hemo Mage or is it Blancos? After that, it's hard to argue against Hemo Mage. This guy is crazy.
Yeah, and it's like we're catching him out. No, we're not. He's just split pushing and he's doing the thing that like Yorick's do, where come at me. You can't do anything to me. As we see Tomorrow actually just doesn't lose any health whatsoever. Oof. And just grasping it and getting bigger. If that was a hard steal on that Poppy, you'd have like 400, 500 stacks by now.
Oh my god, sidestepping everything. This guy plays with like such confidence, right? This game like didn't come out of lane phase with some enormous lead, but still plays with the confidence that he had on the Volibear in game 1. They're overloading this side of the map again. They want to catch him out this time. I said it last time and I was wrong that they would catch it, but they do land the charm this time. Knock back into the wall as well. Keeper's Verdict won't hit anyone, and this time he will fall. Look, he did it in game 1 too. His hubris does get the best of him sometimes, but this is the exact same thing he did in game 1. He died in bot lane and got them Baron.
Yeah, and that's just like they knew. If you were looking at the minimap prior to that play, all four members on the side of NGS were just sitting there on the top side, hovering around the Baron, just waiting for them to show up because they knew that they were going to have to either concede tier 2 and then they would, get that for free, or they were going to go for the Poppy again and they were going to get Baron. So they're playing this macro game really, really well, almost to the point where like he's a split pusher, like a Trundle or something like that, where they're just like, yeah, we just make plays off of what he's doing. Hemo on this Poppy, 037 does not give his performance here justice, as he is just running through the side of Malevolent.
Yeah, absolutely. As Blancos has also crept up to 11-0 on the Lissandra. Like, what a statement performance from him in the mid lane. But again, Hemomage makes so much space in the bot lane, like still took a while to die. There's Blancos going in. Vero will get the Vault Breaker out in time. We'll see if they can use this Baron and the overloaded push to claim this tier 2. Hemo is not here, but does have teleport, gonna push out the bot lane himself. They're going to walk this wave into the tower. Yeah. They should be able to take down this tier 2 pretty quickly. Zeri does a lot of damage to these towers. Silently has gotten decently strong on about 2.5 items now, but really this has not been a game of 80 carries. This is a solo laners game.
Yeah, no, this whole series has been all about the solo laners. In game 1, Tamara was doing well on the Orianna, but not as well as the Volibear or Hemo on the Volibear. And in this game, Lissandra actually on a carry is showing that Blancos knows how to play this game and knows what to do and can play these champions to near perfection. And when you have somebody like Hemo in the top lane just causing so much chaos by themselves, it makes it so easy for the rest of the team to do exactly what they're doing.
Yes, here comes Ahri. Tomorrow is joining up with the team, gonna maybe look to fight this 5v4 before Hemo can get there with the teleport. Hemo, though, pushing in on the bot side, gonna claim a tier 2 for himself with the Baron up push. Actually, Hemo probably doesn't have Baron, but will still claim a tier 2 by himself with the bot lane. Is gonna use the Cease and Desist in onto the Nocturne. Oh my god, with the Paranoia into the backline, forces the flash out from Muscle Mommy and saves his own life. Lord Draken comes in with a 2-man charm, saying Pain Poppy will actually fall. Fall the Forge God coming in as well, Demana in the middle of everyone. Nocturne has been shut down, but Blancos can carry this fight by himself. Half health on the Lissandra, but Termac forced the flash out, concussive blow stacked up. Zonia's the last second. Blancos taken very low. Charn in onto the Braum, but Tomorrow's out of mana. Double kill goes to Mythic Chaos. And Hemo isn't even here. He's pushing in, takes a tier 3 by himself on the bot side of the fight. That's 1 for 2 in favor of NGS, and they're just gonna stay. Blancos could recall and TP if he wants to. Doesn't seem to feel the need. Has flash available. Lord Draken comes in, gets stunned up immediately. There is no follow-up. And Blancos toes, I agree, he's legendary. As Hemo Mage to the backside gets a 1v2 double kill. Novasphere Gaming, a decisive victory in game 2, and they are gonna take the series 2-0.
Absolute stomp by Hemo in the top lane. I know Lissandra looks like the carry of this game, and Blancos Toes did everything to gain the adulation that should come his way, but Hemo in both of these games was such a nuisance. Really, really well done. Just completely took over. Even though in this game he didn't get the lead that he had in the first one, it wasn't that Termac was making mistakes. It's just that the champion diff of the Poppy into this comp that Malevolent just drafted just made it so easy for him to pick that, and then was so tanky. Everything, in the chat that said too much focus on the Poppy, but if you don't focus the Poppy, you're going to lose everything anyways, because you have an 11-0 Lissandra that you're going to have to 4v4.
Yeah, damned if you do, damned if you don't situation for MVE at the end there. Really, really nothing that they could do. Novasphere Gaming Sunrise takes the 2-0 victory with, by the way, an emergency sub in the 80 carry position, right? Mythic Chaos came slotted into this team just fine. As we said, this was not really a series about the bot lane, right? It didn't carry any of these games for sure, but played completely fine. Really shout out for coming in super, super last minute in the E-sub position. But these solo laners on Novasphere are nothing to be scoffed at. They may have been 0-2 coming into this week, but coming out of this, I would look at those solo laners as some of the top threats.
Yeah, I mean, they have to be. It's either that or, MVE is just really down in the dumps and not playing well. But it's huge plays by both of them. And yeah, even though it wasn't about them, if you look at these team fights, Mythic on the Jinx was always just far enough away, using her rockets for the spacing and taking the peel from his tanks and just hitting the Maokai in game 1. And then in game 2, after the Nocturne died, Mythic actually cleaned up 2 kills behind the lines while Poppy and Lysandra were just going in. And tomorrow, as well as he played on that Ari, even though he missed a couple charms here and there, but you can't fault him for that. You're not going to be perfect, but played so well, but was just way too far behind, unfortunately. That's the MVP of the losing team there, if you're asking me, because tomorrow played
Yeah.
really, really well in both of those games, but just there was somebody on the other team that was just way too far ahead by the time that, you could make it count.
Yeah, tried his best at the end there in game 2. Had a lot of stumbles in the lane phase. Played great in lane, especially in game 1. Great in the team fights. Also, shout out to Vero, like trying his best to make plays on the Vi. Made a ton of plays on the Jarvan. Like really, really a great playmaking jungler. But MVE gonna sort of have to go back to the drawing board and look like, hey, who do we want to play through? Right? Like what lane can we focus? Where can we get our advantages, and where do we want our gold going if we're gonna find some wins?
Yeah, and like you said, early game, Vero doing really, really well. It's just unfortunate that when he went to go, into Blancos was on the outskirts. Like that is like when you're in the practice tool,
really
you see
close.
the little rings of the towers, and you're just sitting there and you're like, how am I getting hit by this? This sucks. And just really, really well done by Blancos in game 2. If it wasn't for Hemo, carried that game, but just very, very unfortunate if you're on Malevolent. I think their draft could use a little bit of tweaking. Although Vero does really, really well on these bruiser champs and gets a good lead early on, I would like to see maybe swapping over to like a Sejuani or an Amumu, somebody that after you go in can still give some agency to the rest of the team, especially when you have somebody that's so mechanically decent, at least, or good on somebody like Tomorrow. You could still pull off the Ori ball delivery with a Maokai, with an Amumu, with a Sejuani, or somebody else. So outside of that, Muscle Mommy played fine. Lord Draken definitely played a lot better game 2.
Yeah, good on the Recon.
Did his job. So for Malevolent going forward, hopefully they don't let this one like get them too down. A little bit better communication, knowing what they want to do, and just making a little bit better decisions, and especially in the draft, as I'm looking at it.
Yeah, tried their best, but a really, really strong showing from Novasphere. A clean and decisive game 2 performance. The top side of the map for Novasphere is nothing to be scoffed at. They may be 1 and 2, but the rest of Gladiator League, should look out. Those solo laners are no joke. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Mojo Powell. That's Fel. We'll be back here next week again on Titan Esports 2, but until then, stay safe. Have a good night.